Feels good, don't it?
When I think of Zen Studios, I think about the best pinball games on the market. There's not a single game in my Steam library that I've played more than Zen Pinball 2, and even now it's a staple part of my Steam Deck gaming diet. But Zen Studios have made more than just pinball games now though. Games like Dreadnautical and Castle Storm proved the developer was confident dabbling in all sorts of genres. Now Circus Electrique is here, a tricky RPG with some serious circus management elements. Set in an alternative steampunk Victorian London, the city is in a state of peril when the majority of its citizens start mindlessly attacking each other. Our hero Amelia is a reporter investigating this phenomenon who, upon realising the danger on the streets, reluctantly accepts some help from her uncle's circus. Amelia was raised in the Circus Electrique as her mother was the star attraction. Then one night after a performance went wrong, Amelia's mum tragically died, leaving Amelia alone and angry. There's understandably a lot of bad blood between Amelia and her ringmaster uncle, and their relationship is fully explored in fully voice-acted cutscenes throughout the game. The relationships of the characters, coupled with the sinister happenings of old London town, make for an interesting backdrop to the RPG action. Combat in Circus Electrique is turn-based and sees a team of 4 of your circus performers taking on usually 4 unruly Londoners. What makes combat different in this game though is the importance of your position. Each of your employees has 6 moves at their disposal, but they can only be used in certain positions in the party lineup. The same is true for your enemies, and when you add attacks that shuffle characters around into the mix, it makes for some truly chaotic battles. The different classes in Circus Electrique are as charming as they are unique. Clowns are tank healers with a few status effects up their sleeves, along with a very long handkerchief. Strongmen deal huge damage, but they struggle to take it, and snake charmers use poison on enemies and can raise the spirits of your party with their exotic dancing. You'll unlock loads of different classes as you progress through the game, and each one of them is totally different to the last. A character can be taken out of battle by depleting their health bar as per usual, but they can also be taken out by lowering their devotion to 0. This blue meter indicates how loyal to the team each performer is, and affects enemies as well as friends. If you want to keep your party around, you'll want to ensure they're having a good time, especially because characters with high devotion are more accurate, more likely to hit criticals, and given beneficial status effects. So how do you go about keeping all your performers happy? Well, you let them spend the night performing in the big top instead of fighting brainwashed civilians, of course. Between each fight in Circus Electrique, you'll need to manage the circus, which means assigning roles to everyone. Anyone who's hurting can spend a night or 2 in the sleeping car, and slackers can be sent to the practice tent to level up, and a lucky few will be chosen to perform in the next day's show. Setting up an entertaining performance isn't as easy as you might think. Each of your party members has 4 different skill points that dictate how they entertain the crowd. Some impress most with music, whereas others entertain with comedy or feats of danger. The performers you choose will have to total certain point values to star in the show, but to get the most stars, which equals money and experience for the circus, you'll need to organise them correctly. You see, each of your performers has a preference for what position they slot into in the show, as well as who they perform next to. You might have a clown who likes to open the show and have a fire breather follow his act, or a strongman that wants to be the main attraction and hates going out after an escapologist. Only by fitting the right performers into this logistical puzzle will you actually get the maximum amount of stars to upgrade your base of operations. Once you've put on enough entertaining shows, the circus will level up, and you'll have options to upgrade each of the individual parts of it. Upgrading the sleeping car allows more people to rest, but putting valuable money and resources into upgrading the artisan will unlock powerful new consumables and show upgrades to craft. There are a ton of decisions to make every time you go back to the circus, and some will probably find it overwhelming. No matter what's going on at the big top, you'll need to make sure you have a healthy party of 4 who are ready to explore the streets of the Big Smoke. When you leave the circus, you'll be presented with a sprawling map of nodes, and you'll need to figure out the optimal path for your team. You might want to go down a path that leads to a loot crate, but the fight you'll have to do in the rain after it will be a nightmare for your fire breathers. Every one of these decisions could lead to riches the circus needs, or the permanent death of a performer, so don't take them lightly. That's right, Circus Electrique features permadeath. If a character runs out of HP, they are gone forever, and if they run out of devotion, they probably won't be sticking around for long either. Modelled after games like Darkest Dungeon, Circus Electrique wants you to know that there are consequences to your actions, and will happily kill off your favourite clowns and ventriloquists if you're not careful. Unlike other more oppressive RPGs though, it isn't too tricky to fill up your sleeping quarters with replacement performers of similar power levels if a boss fight wipes you out. I'm not ashamed to say I had full teams of characters taken away from me after certain tough scraps, and it felt bad. Some boss fights especially just don't play fair, and if you aren't using all of your abilities to buff and position your team correctly, there's a good chance they'll take some of them down. There are loads of extra mechanics and systems that I haven't even mentioned yet in Circus Electrique. There's the powerful Amaze meter that slowly builds up between fights and could save your bacon with a massive heal, buff or attack when they unleash at the right time. There are also loads of different events you can find on the map, like street performances or penny sliding mini-games that shake up the loop of combat and show organising with a bit of fun and a chance for prizes. There's a lot that I love about this game, but it does have a few issues. Perhaps the one that prevented me from playing for hours at a time is how often you need to organise a circus show. Between every battle, until you unlock the harder 2-day shows, you'll need to figure out which performer to put where, and because you're punished for running the same show twice, you can't even repeat one you've already set up. Also, as much as I appreciated the punishing difficulty, I think some aspects of the game are just simply unbalanced. There are occasions where I'd go into an encounter and just get battered by opponents that I expected to be very beatable, and times where I loaded into a fight only to see 4 fire enemies in the rain who could barely damage my team. The consistency just isn't quite there. Circus Electrique is a challenging RPG that long-term fans of the genre will get a lot out of, but don't go in expecting an easy ride. The circus theme and management is delightful if slightly repetitive, and the position-based combat actually makes you think instead of letting you grind and win every battle. Circus Electrique isn't a game that everyone will like, but the ones that do will have a new obsession, which is why we're giving it an 8.5 out of 10. Hey, Adam from GodIsAGeek.com here. Hope you enjoyed Lyle's review of Circus Electrique that I felt like I was mispronouncing every single time I said it. Electrique, electric. I still don't know. And I've played it. I would mention actually that I played most of it on Steam Deck, and I did find some of the text and the icons a bit too small, but you can zoom in by holding the Steam button and L1 bumper, so that it's a solution. It's not ideal, but I mean it wasn't designed for that console, so whatever. Anyway, make sure you subscribe to this channel and of course hit the bell button so you never miss another video. Pretty sure I just said never instead of never there. That's the kind of action you'll get here on GodIsAGeek.com. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.